The UK is home to some of the most eerie and mysterious places in the world. Among them, there are 15 haunted houses, each with its own spine-chilling story. Are you ready to step inside these unsettling homes where the past refuses to stay buried? 1. Skirrid Mountain Inn. Skirrid Mountain Inn, nestled in the heart of Wales, is infamous for its chilling history. Once a site for public hangings, over 180 criminals were executed here over 800 years. Many visitors speak of a strangling sensation, as if an unseen force is tightening around their throats. The ghost of Fanny Price, the inn's former landlady, is said to wander its halls. The air is thick with tension, and strange footsteps echo through empty rooms. Witnesses have described cold spots and the inexplicable feeling of being watched. Skirrid Mountain Inn is a place where the past never quite fades away. The restless spirits of those long gone still seem to haunt the very walls, as if the past continues to bleed into the present, leaving an unshakable feeling of dread. 2. Borley Rectory. Borley Rectory, often called the most haunted house in England, is steeped in ghostly tales. Among its many hauntings, the most famous is of a nun who was buried alive, her restless spirit said to still walk the halls. Sightings of phantom footsteps, doors slamming, and eerie whispers have been reported by those who dared to enter. The house has a long history of poltergeist activity, with objects moving on their own and cold winds sweeping through locked rooms. The air inside is heavy, with a palpable sense of dread, as if something ancient and vengeful lurks just out of sight. No one can explain the terrifying energy that still lingers, making Borley Rectory a place few want to revisit. The past, it seems, is never truly gone here, and the spirits trapped in its walls are forever waiting. The house itself seems to thirst for more souls to join the tortured ones within. 3. Antwerp Mansion. In the heart of Manchester, Antwerp Mansion stands as a grim reminder of dark times. Known as the Murder Mansion, it's infamous for its violent past, with an unsolved murder casting a long, eerie shadow over the property. Visitors report hearing phantom footsteps, and the faint sound of whispers echo through its empty halls. Some say a shadowy figure haunts the building, its form always just out of reach. Others feel a strange, inexplicable sense of unease, as if being watched by unseen eyes. The house is filled with the weight of unresolved history, and the spirits of its tragic past seem to call out to those who dare enter. Antwerp Mansion is a place where the line between the living and the dead is dangerously thin. The dark energy here seems to seep from every crack, leaving an impression that lasts far longer than a visit. 4. Hughenden Manor. Hughenden Manor, once home to Prime Minister Benjamin Disraeli, is a house shrouded in mystery and melancholy. Visitors often report feeling a heavy sadness, especially in the rooms where Disraeli spent his final days. His ghost is said to wander the halls, sometimes appearing at the windows, lost in thought. The manor's history is fraught with sorrow, and the spirits of the past linger in every corner. The most common sightings are of a Victorian gentleman, his ghostly figure drifting through the shadows. Some claim to feel an unnatural heaviness in the air, as if the weight of history bears down upon them. Despite its beauty, Hughenden Manor is undeniably haunted by the spirits of its former inhabitants, and their restless presence fills the air. In every dark corner of the house, the past seems unwilling to be forgotten, its ghosts alive in the minds of those who visit. 5. Felbrigg Hall. Felbrigg Hall in Norfolk is steeped in both beauty and sorrow. Its most famous ghost is that of William Wyndham III, who died after a heroic act to save his friend's library. Visitors often report seeing his spectral figure on the grand staircase, his face a solemn reminder of the past. The house is filled with an oppressive sense of grief, and the air grows unnervingly cold at times. The sound of footsteps echo in the halls, and some claim to feel an inexplicable presence following them. The ghosts here seem trapped in a loop, forever bound to the house and its tragic history. Felbrigg Hall is a place where the past never lets go, and its spectral residents still linger, unable to find peace. The house itself seems to mourn for those who are gone, as if it too is haunted by the weight of forgotten stories. 6. Ruthin Gaol. Ruthin Gaol, a Victorian prison in Wales, is a place where suffering and death left their mark. The most famous ghost is that of William Hughes, who was executed here. Visitors often report hearing the sound of footsteps echoing in the empty halls, along with strange, cold spots that appear out of nowhere. Many claim to feel an oppressive weight, as if the spirits of the past are watching them. The dark, confined cells where prisoners suffered still seem to hold their energy, creating an eerie atmosphere that never seems to fade. Some believe the souls of those executed here are still trapped, unable to move on. Ruthin Gaol is a place where the tortured past is never truly buried, and its ghosts continue to haunt the present. The cries of the past seem to resonate through the very stone of the jail, refusing to be silenced. 7. Woodchester Mansion. Woodchester Mansion, with its unfinished structure, is a place of unsettling mystery. The ghost of the second Earl of Berkeley is said to appear during certain events, his apparition haunting the grand rooms. Unexplained noises, such as footsteps and the sound of doors opening and closing, are common occurrences. Some say they've seen shadows moving in the corners of rooms, just beyond the reach of their sight. The mansion's incomplete state only adds to the sense of unease, as if the house is waiting for something that never arrived. The air feels thick with the energy of the past, and it's impossible to shake the feeling of being watched. Woodchester Mansion stands as a chilling testament to the idea that some things are better left unfinished. The unfinished construction seems to symbolize an endless weight, a curse left unbroken, with its spirits bound to the unfulfilled promises of the house. 8. Craig-y-Nos Castle. Craig-y-Nos Castle, once the home of opera diva Adelina Patti, is a place of haunting beauty and ghostly tales. Her spirit is said to linger in the rooms she once inhabited, her presence felt by those who wander the halls. Visitors often hear the sounds of children laughing, and some report footsteps in the empty corridors. The castle's former use as a tuberculosis hospital only adds to its eerie atmosphere, as if the souls of former patients are still trapped within its walls. The air feels charged with energy, as though the past is never far away. Craig-y-Nos Castle is a place where the spirits of the past refuse to leave, their voices echoing through the stone halls. The castle remains a poignant reminder that some places hold onto their ghosts more tightly than others, as if the past itself is unwilling to leave. 9. Treasurer's House. Treasurer's House in York is a site of immense historical significance, but it is also famous for its ghostly residents. The most chilling apparitions are those of Roman soldiers, whose phantom footsteps can be heard marching through the rooms. The house is said to be haunted by the spirits of those who once lived and died there, their energies still lingering in the walls. Visitors have described seeing shadows of soldiers moving through the house, sometimes even feeling a cold hand brush against their skin. Others report seeing bloodstains appear on the floor, remnants of a battle long past. The house has an eerie, timeless quality, as if the past is unwilling to let go. Treasurer's House is a place where the echoes of history can still be felt and seen. Its ghostly inhabitants seem to be locked in a moment of time, forever bound to the house. 10. Sutton House. Sutton House. The oldest house in Hackney is a place where the spirits of its past owners continue to make their presence felt. The house, built in 1535, has witnessed centuries of history, and its walls are filled with the memories of those who once lived there. Shadowy figures are often seen drifting through its rooms, particularly in the night. The most famous ghost is that of Sir Ralph Sadleir, whose spirit is said to watch over the house. The air in Sutton House is thick with the weight of time, and strange occurrences are common. Doors that open by themselves, flickering lights, and the distant sound of footsteps. Visitors often report an overwhelming sense of being followed, as if the spirits are still very much alive in the house. Sutton House is a reminder that history is never truly gone. It simply waits to be rediscovered. The spirits are always present, quietly waiting for the living to notice. 11. Hare Arms, Stow, Bardolph. The Hare Arms in Stow, Bardolph is a historic pub that has long been known for its ghostly inhabitants. It's said that the spirit of a woman in white roams the pub, her mournful presence a reminder of a tragic death. Some claim to have seen her figure standing in the window, while others hear faint whispers or footsteps when the pub is empty. The building itself seems alive with the energy of its past, and visitors often report feeling a strange, unexplained chill in certain rooms. Cold spots appear out of nowhere, and some claim that the atmosphere changes when the spirit is near. The Hare Arms is a place where the past continues to linger, its ghosts still very much present. It's as if the pub's history is unwilling to fade, and the spirits are determined to make themselves known, forever tied to its walls. 12. Blickling Hall. Blickling Hall in Norfolk is a majestic estate with a dark, haunting history. Most famously, it is said to be the home of the ghost of Anne Boleyn, the second wife of Henry VIII. Her headless spectre is said to ride through the grounds in a coach drawn by headless horses, especially on the anniversary of her execution. But Anne is not the only presence here. Other apparitions, including her father, Thomas Boleyn, have been seen. Visitors often report a heavy, oppressive feeling as they wander the grounds, as though the past is unwilling to remain buried. Strange lights flicker in the windows, and ghostly whispers are heard when no one is around. Blickling Hall is a place where history and the supernatural collide, and the restless spirits of the Boleyn family remain firmly anchored to the estate. Their tortured cries are carried on the wind, forever part of the Hall's haunting legacy. 13. Athelhampton House. Athelhampton House, an ancient manor in Dorset, is known for its many restless spirits. Among its ghostly residents is a grey lady who is said to appear at dusk, her form gliding silently through the gardens. The house has a long history of strange events, from furniture shifting on its own to the sound of footsteps in otherwise empty rooms. Visitors report a constant sense of unease, as though the house itself is alive, watching them. The most chilling accounts come from those who have stayed overnight, describing strange noises and sudden drops in temperature. Athelhampton House is a place where the veil between the living and the dead seems particularly thin, and the past refuses to fade away. The spirits that haunt this house seem to want something, perhaps acknowledgement, perhaps release, but they remain firmly tethered to its walls. 14. The Red Lion, Hedon. The Red Lion, a pub in Hedon, is famous for its many reports of hauntings. The ghost of a young maid who was tragically murdered here is said to still haunt the premises. She appears as a shadowy figure, moving silently through the rooms and corridors. Some claim to hear her crying, while others feel a sudden chill when she is near. The Red Lion has seen its share of death and tragedy, and the spirits who remain are unwilling to let go. Cold spots, objects moving on their own, and whispers in the dark are common occurrences. The pub has an unsettling air of tragedy, and many believe it will always be haunted by the ghosts of its past. The restless maid's sorrowful presence still lingers, her tragic fate forever linked to the pub. The Limes, Trowbridge. The Limes in Trowbridge is a grand but eerie old building, where dark shadows and unexplained noises have given rise to numerous ghost stories. The most famous haunting here is that of a former resident, who is said to appear near the staircase. People have reported hearing faint footsteps and whispers in the night, and some even claim to see a dark figure standing silently in the shadows. The Limes exudes a sense of foreboding, and its history of tragedy seems to have left an indelible mark on the building. The ghosts that linger here seem unwilling to let go, and their presence is felt strongly by anyone who steps foot inside. The Limes is a place where the past refuses to remain silent, forever whispering through the halls as if seeking closure. If you loved these spooky stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tap the bell to stay updated with all our creepy content. Have a real-life haunted place to share? Drop it in the comments, and our creepy experience team might feature it in upcoming videos.